Well done. Well done.
I was like, how the hell is this even possible?
That was perfect. Perfect
He did that
execution.
last time too, and I was just like, I had like a mini heart attack because we had done all this stuff to like
Uh-huh.
make sure it was working.
Every time, every time.
Nice.
Like skip a beat. Okay, I'm gonna do the thing. All right, hello everybody. Welcome to episode 2 of the World's Finest Podcast. I'm Vinder Singh. I'm here with John Michael Shercliffe, my partner, and we also have our second very special guest of our little series, Mr. Ivan Yorobi. Um, so I have like a lot of information. You just pointed, and
The actual job title is music missionary. I mean, that's kind of like almost full-time music. I serve at like parishes and different like praise and worship nights around the diocese here. But I also still help out with like campus ministry stuff at the University of St. Thomas in St. Paul. So
yeah, that's what I also got wrong. I said so that's my bad.
all good, close enough. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Ivan. So John Michael and I met Ivan a couple years ago at FSU. He was my men's group leader my second year there, and we got to know each other. We played basketball together. We were just all around Boolers together, and he's a dear friend of mine, and we box together and stuff like that. So when we are putting together a list of people to do podcasts with, my original plan was to bring a group of people together who we can learn something from. Not to say that Ivan can't teach anybody anything, but it quickly became more about me wanting to just get on podcasts with my friends, regardless of if they could teach me anything or not. But yeah, Ivan, if you want to like for a minute or two, just introduce yourself, like say your spiel, what you're doing
Sure.
up there, kind of like
Yeah.
what got you started.
Yeah. So I'm from New Jersey. I was born and raised. I'm the first child of Filipino immigrants. So my parents moved to Jersey right before I was born, and yeah, I went to school at Seton Hall University. Go Pirates! Um, yeah, studied nursing and Catholic studies there, and then served for 2 years with SPO at Florida State. Knows. And yeah, my time at Florida State was the 2 best years of my life for sure. Just getting to meet all these dudes and just like even just grow as a person and like grow in my faith. Honestly, like I was really stretched and challenged those 2 years. So yeah, super awesome years, super awesome memories. Yeah, so I currently work in Minnesota. I am still working with SPO, St. Paul's Outreach. Like I said a while ago, I do a lot of music stuff. So I grew up playing a lot of guitar. I grew up playing drums as well. And then into high school, I took like a year of voice lessons to kind of like just get my foundation right. And then from there, just kind of kept practicing singing. So I help out a lot with praise and worship stuff. Yeah, I mean, a lot of my work revolves around like playing for mass and kind of serving different parishes, parishes that have like, basically been requesting like a more modern music repertoire in their like liturgies. So it's been a lot of fun and it's been a great time just getting to like use my gifts to like glorify God and like serve like these local Minnesotans, So yeah, I get buckets and I love to box, as Vinder said. Um, Other hobbies include mac and cheese eating, mac and cheese cooking, and I don't know what else I like to do. I'll bowl every now and then. I'll roll a solid like 60. But yeah.
Um, how's your week been going on, man? Like anything you pop out to you this week? Anything you learned? Something funny maybe, or anything you're working on?
Ooh, been doing a lot of planning for next year.
Let's go.
I'm gonna be running the house here, and there's a couple extracurriculars I'm involved in, trying to shoot for positions at. So just a lot of like scheming. Um, yeah, that's probably the best way to describe it. Scheming. Um, it's kind of exams time, so I've had a couple of those. Been running still. Played frisbee today. I sucked, but that's um yeah. And yeah, a good friend of mine is coming into town tomorrow. It's Thomas. Oh, I'm coming on the march. I snagged a waiting list spot, so
Oh,
Let's go.
there. Are you going, Ivan?
When is it? I wasn't planning on it, but
January-ish.
January. I will have to see, but that'd be super awesome. That'd be like an incredible reunion for sure. That'd be a lot of fun.
That'd be so banging. So cool.
Yeah, I'll plan out something for us to do. I don't know how the march works. I haven't been on it yet, but whenever you guys get a free couple hours, we'll go. I was gonna say this is all satire.
Like V for Vendetta. Oh, I had to watch that movie this week.
Dude, that's a great movie.
It's a great
I
movie.
watched the Spark Notes video. I haven't seen the movie.
You watched the Spark Notes?
I know, man. He's got a cool mask.
Watch the movie.
My roommate, I love him, but he's got a lot of knives. So he just walks around like V for Vendetta. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, speaking of V for Vendetta, that's David Miller's favorite movie, like ever.
Is actually.
Yeah.
Oh my
just,
god.
He was just
It's got
on.
good tennis. It's lying around.
We can cut
He's
this.
the best swordsman in the house.
This is a total normal thing.
I've only faced Damien. He and I were cleaning. Damien's my roommate. And we were cleaning, and then the Attack on Titan theme came, and we had the swords, and we just kind of looked at each other, back to the swords, and then we started freaking. He's injured right now, so I think I won that one. But then
Nice.
Micah and we threw down, and he's got those long orangutan arms, so he was just swiping. I had to like.
Yeah, he's a
Well-
lanky dude.
We'll call that one a draw.
Sure.
Did you ever get to play basketball with him? Either of you?
Oh yeah, Micah's
Yeah,
a
I played
bucket.
with him a lot, yeah. He's good.
He's
He's a
good.
shooter.
He's the real deal.
John Michael a year ago was like, I can't box anymore out of fear for my injury, and he's like sword fighting.
Nice.
Damien actually got the same thing. It's like the
All the push-ups.
from doing like boxing, we've got a bag at the house and like the TRC or something right here. It was
Okay.
giving us both trouble for a while, but now it's
Dang.
I
I'll get
totally derailed this.
Oh, it is. I guess you gotta like wrap more, like just make sure you're punching straight.
Yeah.
'Cause wrist injuries, like, they're pretty sad when that happens. So
Do people
Are you a registered nurse, Ivan? I never asked. I never knew. I know you went to nursing school, but like, did you?
yeah,
Dude,
I'm a registered nurse. BSN, RN, the whole shebang.
wait, what does BSN stand for?
My bachelor's in science of nursing. So
Oh,
it's a
okay.
4-year degree. Yeah.
I saw for my little thing for this week, I saw the first episode of Attack on Titan. I haven't
Oh,
seen it yet.
Ugh.
It was like incredibly spoilers for anyone in this audience who has not seen the first episode of Attack on Titan. I was like, yo, it was an animation. I thought it was gonna be like kind of like nice, you know, but like, oh my god, like the giant, like when I first saw them in the flashback, I was like, oh, this is like kind of like corny or whatever. But when you see them up close, like, it's a terrifying animation. That's gonna like haunt my dreams. The first episode was incredible. I didn't think it would be. I didn't think it was like for children, but I didn't think it was like as mature as it ended up being. And the Titan is like a terrifying animation up close. It's like disgusting and like off-putting, and it's weird. It's a very. I didn't really know how to describe it. I was very uncomfortable with the ending. And yeah, so so the Titan like bites the mom in half, and then like eats her whole pretty much as she dies. And I listen. I figure, you know, parents figures for protagonists, they always get the bullet at the end. But like it came out of nowhere. I thought they were gonna like build up to it. You know, I was like maybe it's like a season 1 ending type of thing where like they kill off the parent. That was 10 minutes in. Yeah.
Have you watched Invincible?
No, I have not.
Oh, dude, you would love it. It's so
Really,
good.
that's pretty gruesome too. I feel like that's up your alley. I've never watched an episode,
The
but I
thing
feel like Vindra, you just absolutely love that.
It's
I like
not
The Boys, which is on the same channel as Invincible. The Boys is a great show, and it's live action. It's not animation. It's live
I
action.
feel like it has the
Actually,
same vibe, probably.
yeah, it's disgusting. Uh, The Boys is like it's not superheroes. It's like superhumans, stuff like that, and it's very like it's pretty like hardcore when it comes to like the damage and stuff like that. But it's also on a social level. It does pretty good commentary about consumerism and like corporate greed and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like
From what I hear, it's pretty satirical.
that's
is
exactly the point.
literally you.
What's up?
Is Homelander literally you? I see all those memes.
Yeah. Oh, people unironically like Homelander too, which is weird. But I don't want to get into that. He's like people are like, oh yeah, he's me. I'm like, that's a problem. That's a you should.
Just seeing the memes where it's like, I gotta stop playing with this thing. It's just like the memes. You know,
Yeah,
it's
they're like, I can see it. I can see how someone could. I'm like, how? Yeah, you can. That's a logical like progression for you. It's like you know, I
like
started. off,
you
she
can
said
either go
so.
Homelander or Ken. I don't know.
I was like, dude, like you shouldn't. You should have no like. But yeah, Attack of Titan looks really good, man. I can't wait to get into the rest of it. I have finals coming up now, but once December 10th hits, I'm gonna be AOT maxing for sure. And I'm kind of hooked on those characters. They did a very good job with the pilot.
Don't go outside though.
Don't go outside, dude. All right, done.
How many seasons is Attack on Titan? 4?
I think so.
Yeah. You could definitely like just binge all those in like a winter break. That sounds pretty doable.
Yeah.
Episodes are like 20 minutes long, and I saw like all of Community over a summer, which was like 3 months. I love that show. That show is great. Don't put your head down. Community is an incredible program.
Donald Glover is the only good thing to come out of that show.
He's the only
That's
good
pretty
thing to
good.
come, he's the only good thing to come out of that show. But in that show, there's some pretty legitimate stars. Ken Jeong is in that show. He crushes it in
Oh,
that
true.
show.
Yeah, that's
Cool. What
And,
about totally? Oh, Community is just a step above Seinfeld in terms of funny though, and I say that as
No.
salt. Yeah, Seinfeld's
It's-
show.
Oh, you don't like Stein? I don't like Steinfeld.
They made me watch it for like a psychology experiment. They made me like watch it 1 week, come back a week later, and tell them what I remembered. It was like so seared in my brain, just by the pure mediocrity of it.
Yeah, Seinfeld's not good. Community is way better than Seinfeld, dude. Community has like movie level production on like 20-minute episodes. Dude, the Russo brothers did Community. The Russo
they?
brothers they did Avengers Endgame and they did Community. That's a hell of a discography.
Yeah, true.
Dude, I think Community has like some top tier humor. I get a lot of my jokes from Community. But a lot of people will say I'm not that funny, so that's part of it.
Nice.
Never listen to them, Vidra. You're perfect.
It is very like meta humor though. It's not like funny because it's funny. It's funny because it's true type of thing. You know what I mean? The Community.
Clip this part with some like awful clip from Community and just be like, Vidra Singh hates everything confirmed.
I think there's some pretty horrible seasons of Community, but I think when Community's doing really good, it's great. But when it's bad, it's pretty bad. But like, yeah, Donald Glover's really good in that show. So is the guy who plays Jeff. I don't know his name, but those are like two like legitimately good acting performances. Oh, and the Abed actor too. Like he should have gotten an Emmy for it. I don't know if he won an award or anything like that, but that is like on a purely technical acting level. Like he is so good as that character, and he just gets how to play like the line between like reality and I'm gonna make this life my movie, which I've also related to, like kind of romanticizing
High voltage.
your life. It's just like, oh, if something bad happens to me, it's for the plot. It's not like it actually affects my life. It's just like the writers up to their shenanigans yet again.
Yeah. Is that a good segue? Okay, here we go. I guess This week's been pretty busy. There's been a lot of stuff going on. I've been learning about humility in a lot of ways. Um, there was this event that we had Wednesday night that like kind of like went pretty poorly, and it was like probably like 90% my fault for sure. And so it's kind of like, dang, like, because leading up to the event, like, I was like ready and I was excited and I was pretty confident. And then like as it finished, I was kind of like, oh shoot, like, I don't think that went too hot. And it kind of just like reminded me of like, there's always ways to improve or like to kind of push yourself to like learn and like get better at different things. So I don't know. It's like, I mean, thank God it like doesn't happen all the time because then your like ego would be pretty like wrecked. But every now and then, that's kind of like the pattern for me. Like I'll be doing pretty great in a number of things, then I'll have like one pretty bad day. It's like, oh shoot, like that's rough. So that was kind of like a big thing that happened. But aside from that, it's been a pretty awesome week. A lot of like I said, pretty busy. So, because of like my line of work kind of centering on music over the past couple months, I've been learning a lot about just like different aspects of music and like it almost feels like I'm going to school for music right now, which is like a lot of fun, honestly. It's pretty wild. Um, for one, because like I never thought I would be doing music as a job, but then also like it's something I've always wanted to do, but never really like prioritized it or like thought it would be feasible, So I'm super grateful to God that I have this opportunity. It's been incredible. Um, but a specific aspect of music that's always like fascinated me is like the whole production realm of like sure you can like sound really great in a live setting and you can like perform really well in front of people or like play music at church or like at a retreat and sound like great. But it's a different art form and like quite uh I guess it's quite different to like capture sound and then be able to like make that sound be like pleasant as you listen to it like you know for like the mass audience, like um I don't know. So there's been a lot of lessons I've been learning in terms of like just like the process of like producing music or like the steps you need to take to like ensure that something sounds good later on. Um, even stuff like like a I guess in a software like Logic or GarageBand or Ableton or whatever else you might use, like um, things to like mess around with, whether it's like EQing your voice or EQing the guitar that you play, um, like changing the levels of things to kind of match what the vibe of the song should be, or even stuff like writing specific parts of an instrument to like complement the whole song, instead of just like I don't know, for example, like playing electric guitar for a song, it's like you don't want that to overpower like your vocals or like other parts of the song that like the guitar isn't like the main portion. So instead of playing the whole song, you would like actually back out and just not play. Um, and just have it like in different parts of a song to like stick out or to complement what the rest of the song is like doing. So um, it's been really exciting for me because I've always wanted to get into this stuff. And my brother, who studies music in New Jersey, is like doing this for his major. Um, but it's like I finally get to do this and like dive into it, and it's been super exciting. Um, on the other hand, it's been incredibly frustrating because I'm like super new to it and I like have all these ideas of like what I want to do and like the things I want to create and how I want to sound like, but I'm just not there yet because I'm just such a beginner. And so it's this process of like I'm really bad at this right now, but I want to improve, and the only way to do it is to just keep doing it. So it's like it's just such an interesting place to be in. Like just like I kind of hate when people say this, but like trusting the process. It just like continuing to like press into something that's difficult and like honestly like not um like where you want it to be, but trusting that like in time you'll improve, or like trusting that like as you practice and as you like do the things that you want to get better at, that you will get better at it, so um I don't know, like the other day, maybe a couple weeks ago now, I was like um making a kind of like a trap like hip hop beat on GarageBand and just like messing around, and like I'm just like scrolling through all the sounds in GarageBand, just trying to figure out like, okay, what does this do? What does that do? And you know, I like finish the song and I play it, and I kid you not, like the song is so like the audio is so like unbalanced that like the bass coming through and like the subwoofer by my feet like was just blowing air like a fan because of how much bass there was. It was like ridiculous. I mean, I did add some 808s and they were like stanky for sure, like some pretty like intense like 808 beat. But yeah, it's definitely like if I played that on a phone, it would like probably make the thing explode. So it's like okay, like good to know. Now I can work on like EQing the song or like this little sample of the thing so that like it sounds good, not only on like $1,000 like sound system, but also like on a phone speaker or in a car system. So there's like things like that they have to kind of take into account. So um yeah, it's like I've been told by a number of people that like the music audio world is like a bottomless pit, and there's like so much to learn, so much to do, so much to spend money on. And like knowing that, it still like excites me, which is kind of like the fun part. It's like, oh, I could totally get lost in this, but like now's the time. Like, I mean, I don't know how long I'll be doing this music missionary thing, but at least for the time being, it's like I'll send it and see where it takes me, see where God takes me. And um yeah, it's a lot of fun, and just like I guess the cool part about it is like as I do it, like I know that like this is what God like wanted me to do this year. And it's like I can like feel his like excitement for me, as I like do this stuff. So yeah, it's a blast. It's a good time.
It's dope, dude. You said your brother was studying music too?
Yeah, I mean, so his degree is called sound engineering.
That's so
It
sick.
makes it sound a lot more like nerdy and mathematical than it might be. It's really just like studying how to produce music or like produce sound in a studio or like whatnot. So
That's so cool, dude. Um, yeah. It reminded me of a character in a video game who does that same thing. Off topic. But is that something like you influenced your little brother? Or was there something like shared that influenced both of you to want to do music? Or did he see you and like big bro's doing it? That's pretty cool. I want to do it.
so he and I started playing music when we were pretty young. Like I was probably like 7 and he was uh maybe like 5 or something like that. And I mean, we took lessons and like our teacher wasn't the best, but we just like kept doing lessons when we were young. And then we got to this point where like once we got good enough, we would just like learn a lot of things by ourselves and just like do the things that we wanted to do musically.
Nice.
Um, so I mean, for me, that looked like just learning a lot of the songs that I listened to and like learning how to like play the chords for them, or like I was listening to songs and like figuring out the guitar solos for it instead of like like reading notes. You know what I mean? So he and I had a similar approach where it's like our ears were like pretty um, capable of like listening to music and then being able to play it. Um, and where I continued to just kind of go down that like musical ear route, my brother actually like learned a lot of theory and learned how to like read notes more than I did. So he's definitely a lot more like gifted than I am for sure musically. And so basically for him it made more sense to like study music and going into college.
Right.
Whereas I saw music as just kind of like a pastime and didn't think it was something like I could make a career out of or like kind of do something full time. So basically he kind of beat me to it. And now I've kind of come around after having studied nursing for 4 years and then mission for 2 years that like, oh, I'm actually like really enjoying doing music. Like, let me see where this takes me. So did I answer your question?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
It's cool. Did you the way you made it sound, it was kind of like you guys are complementary. Like,
Oh, for sure. I mean, if you listen to he and I play, or to him and I play, it's like, yeah, I mean, we've played together for so many years that like our chemistry musically is just like on point.
nice.
I mean, he is like an incredible piano player, and he has like the same style that like I would want to be able to play piano with. That's like basically what he does, you know. So like non-verbally, he just like knows when we're playing together like what like would sound good.
Mhm.
And whenever he plays it, like I'm just like, that's exactly what I would have done if I knew how to play piano. You know, so just like it just like it's so fun playing music with him.
Have
And
you
then
guys-
like when we play other stuff, I mean sometimes I'll play drums for him when he's playing piano or like when he's playing guitar, or he'll play drums. I mean he plays like all kinds of instruments. Like he even plays organ. Like he one of his side gigs is like he plays organ for mass, like just doing gigs around the country, like around the state,
Mhm.
whenever churches need like a
nice.
substitute organ player. So he's a beast. But whenever Johan and I play together, that's my brother's name, Johan. Um, it's like we're about to get saucy, you know. So it's a good time.
Do you guys record it, put it up anywhere? I know you're on Spotify. Is there any like
Um,
You on
Eurobabe?
Spotify
yeah, I
too?
mean, what's up?
You on Spotify too, Johan?
He doesn't have any like official music on Spotify, but I mean, he has an Instagram page. Um, I have a number of
I'll link
songs.
it.
Sure, yeah, yeah. I have a number of songs like on my Instagram or whatever that like he produced and helped me record. You know what I mean? So he's like playing piano for them or like just kind of mixing the whole project. So yeah, I mean, he's incredibly talented for sure.
I was relating a lot when you're talking. I have a younger brother too. Johan's what, 3 years younger than you? 4?
Yeah, 3.
Yeah, my brother is 2 years younger than me, and he would only get into things when I was like starting to do it. So when I started taking guitar classes, he took guitar classes, and then when he realized he didn't like it, he would stop or whatever. And then
Sure,
when I
sure.
started playing soccer, he was like, I would like to play soccer too. And then when I started playing basketball, but my mother would not, drive to my practice and then his practice. So he always got put on to my teams. So he was always the youngest guy playing with all of the people 2 years older than him. So I'd be playing soccer and basketball on my team, and then he would be just like the guy I lug along to practice with me.
Nice.
In the same backpack I put my shoes in and stuff. And he got a lot. He got really good. I'm not gonna say he got better than me. He didn't, but he got pretty close. He
Yeah,
got
sure.
very good in a very short amount of time just because he played with a lot of people. And
Yeah.
when he's surrounded by like all these great, well, I'm not great. When he's surrounded by so
All
much
this
better than,
greatness,
than,
you
than
know?
people, you know, if he's
Yeah.
surrounded by so many people who are better than him, he just was able to like step up to that competition.
Sure.
But
Yeah.
I love music too. I'm not nearly as good of a singer as Ivan or Johan, and I'm not nearly the player either of them are either. But I do feel the same frustration with like learning guitar and stuff. And yeah, I can definitely relate to like being frustrated with like learning stuff like that, especially when you're not as you know, everyone around you seems like they know so much more than that. But the trusted process thing is real. You know, it's so real. Like even with acting too and directing and stuff like that, like compared like our first thing that we did together compared to the last thing we did together, it's just like night and day. You know, so you
Yeah.
got to really invest into it. You know, so
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's funny. It's actually like I just realized like all three of us here have like little brothers, and they're kind of just like obviously. I mean, y'all know what it's like, especially like when you're younger, having a little brother and just be like, dang, this guy's annoying.
Yeah.
But then like as you get older and like you just kind of like watch them like grow up in front of you, you're like, actually, like I love this guy. I just want to like you just are like rooting for them, like kind of like their best fan, like their biggest fan kind of thing. So
Yeah.
that's funny that you said that.
One of the biggest things my dad would always instill in me as a kid is like, you were your little brother's biggest fan. You were his best friend. You were his biggest cheerleader. And like my little brother makes that pretty easy. He's a dope dude.
Yeah.
There's so many wonderful things to say about him. But a quote I heard a couple years ago that really like freaking nailed me. Like you guys can, I'm sure you can attest to it. Is like, there's no one you love on this earth like your little brother. And like it almost breaks my heart that he doesn't have a little brother, so he can like, because I'll tell him all the time, like I'll tell him that quote and like, you know, really like work to make my actions reflect that. But I like at the end of the day, I'm like, shoot, he won't get it.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
but yeah, there's no one you love on earth like your little brother. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out. That might
Yeah, I totally. So that's on my mind too.
yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, bro.
That older brother life.
One little brother, right?
Yeah, and I have my sister. She's the youngest.
That's what I was gonna ask. Is it different being? I imagined it is, but like, what have you noticed being different between being a big brother to a guy and a big brother to a girl?
So it's funny, like it's kind of been this like interesting thing watching my little sister grow up
Mm,
because when she was a baby, like I just was like the older brother that like kind of babysat her, like just took care of like the baby sister, like the baby girl in the house, you know. Um, and I'd always be like, oh, she's so cute, and like I just love like playing with her when she was little, and um, I'd always treat her like a baby, because like that's just she was the youngest in the family. Um, and then fast forward to like when I'm in college and she's about to like go to high school,
whoa.
I'm like realizing like like it's really sad, but it's like when by the time she was in 8th grade, that's when I realized, oh shoot, she's not a baby anymore.
Mm,
Like I have to change the way that I've been treating her.
mm,
Because for one, it's like there were definitely points where she was just like getting annoyed with me, and I just was completely oblivious to it and go over my head. Um, but then just realizing like, what she needs now isn't like an older brother that like will treat her like a baby and will like, just be like super annoying. But she needs like an older brother that will like kind of set the standard for like how men should treat her. You know what I mean? Um, and so I kind of like I've been conscious of this shift where like I won't call her the names that I used to call her when she was little. Like I used to call her like Chub Chub. She had like chubby cheeks. And then after some point, like I finally realized I probably shouldn't be calling her that because she's a teenage woman.
mm,
Um, but even stuff like just the things we'll talk about, or like the sense of humor that she's developed. She's an absolute savage. Like she's so freaking funny. Um, so yeah, so like the things we'll talk about and just like the way that I interact with her is more so like the way that I treat like friends that are women that I know. You know what I mean? And obviously there's a different level of relating because she's my sister and she's like um more aware of like the little things about me that like the ladies I'm friends with don't know about. So it's like it's actually a lot of fun. And like seeing how she views life and like goes about her high school years is like pretty funny because at least for me being a dude, I never saw things the way that she did. So, long story short, like when with relating to my brother, it was like, oh, like he's just a lot like me, so I can kind of treat him like I would want to be kind of like treated as a dude.
Mhm.
Whereas with my sister, it's like, okay, she's definitely not a dude, and so I can't like, I guess, have that same approach with my brother, because she has different needs. So, yeah.
Reflection, but something that popped out to me this week was that so I was talking to Ivan a little bit about it earlier, but uh I had this like daunting like feeling of death. We talked about death earlier, but I was just like, I'm going to
Momentum
die.
worry.
It needs to be great. But I'm 21 years old to my audience who doesn't know me at all. First year law school class, except for 3 people, are over 21. In fact, the average is like 26 or 25 or something like that. And I consider myself to be incredibly old, like unable to act. I think I'm on the end of my rope. I think I'm not gonna make it to 30. But I have 5 years until I make it to the average of my law school class, and we're in the same boat. I am as far away to them in age as a 16-year-old who I coach basketball with. So I had a realization that I am actually a young man, still full of potential, and I do not need to, run into any burning buildings yet. I have this fantasy of like I've always wanted to skydive, but I'm like really scared of heights. So I want to do it when I'm 90. So if anything goes bad, it's like, you know, it's like yeah, he was 90, right? Maybe it's, but yeah, I realized that like I feel like I'm at the end of my rope because I ended a chapter, but I'm actually just starting a new one, and it's just another launch pad for me, and I still have much to learn and much to grow. It's not like anything that's gonna be applicable. It's just something that I learned this week. It's just something that happened to me. Not every week, guys, is gonna be some like culture shaking, groundbreaking, like a new leaf turned over in my brain. Like sometimes it's just gonna be something like that where it's like, you know what, I actually am not, you know, old and broken. I'm still like a capable young
Young and
man.
broken.
That was my thing. A lot shorter, but just something that I think happened.
You're a young man.
You've got the knees of an old man, but you're a young man.
You're
Like,
roasted, dude.
My knees are gone. I can
Flame,
run
bro.
fine,
I'm
but
projecting, dude. My knees click all the time. I'm like, I can't do this shit for 70 more years. I'm like,
I had like a good 3 or 4 years of my adolescence playing soccer where I was bruising my knees up every week. They were bloody and dirty, and I needed the ice packs and everything like that. And I think that's like gonna prove as a detriment to my like future self. Like I should have stretched more. I should have taken care of my knees more
dude.
when I was younger.
dude,
Because
I think if you start using a wheelchair now, you don't have to use it later.
do you have you ever heard of the YouTube channel Knees Over Toes guy?
Yeah, that guy's crazy.
I straight up witchcraft. Like the way he not actually, we don't witchcraft is bad.
ooh,
Ooh.
But yeah, the way he takes somebody's knees who are so incredibly damaged and repairs them just with like a couple different things, like doing squats on a slanted board and walking backwards on a treadmill or pulling a sled. It's like insane. But it's like very, I don't know the exact word. It gives hope. Inspiring isn't quite it, but like encouraging maybe. It's like, our knees won't be shot by the time we're 25. So
Well, you got to start doing those exercises then.
yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Get a head start.
Yeah.
So you'll be doing knees over toes, and Vindra can just hop in the wheelchair now. And,
The duality of
if I ever get to an age where I can't like shoot a basketball or dribble a basketball, I really don't want to see what else life has to offer for me. Like
I
I
can relate to that, yeah.
You've
I-
always got to be ready to run away from zombies, man. That's my thing. You got to prepare for the worst. World War Z zombies, those things that can sprint after you.
But those things are fast, dude.
Oh, freaky, dude.
zombies,
Yeah, zombies.
Zombies are fast? Since
In
when?
World War Z, yeah.
Dude, they sprint after you and they like lunge. It's like if you mixed Michael Jordan, a bunny rabbit, and Usain Bolt into one creature.
But it's like blood hungry and wants to kill you.
Yeah.
That
But
could
it's
also
like-
just be Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny. And Usain Bolt.
Mixed with like, I don't know, the dude from Twilight.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
Michael Jordan already is blood hungry and wants to kill people, but
That's true.
different.
I'm thinking Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah, not him.
I don't know. I don't know what zombie movies you guys are watching. All the zombie movies, like Night of the Living Dead types. I mean,
Yeah,
those
they're
are
all slow.
Nice.
they're slow. You know, I took a class at FSU on zombie movies. No joke. It was an entire class that was.
This is a list of all the classes I have to take to graduate. Zombie
That sounds dope.
class.
It was a summer. It was like a 2 credit summer class that I needed to fill in my film minor, and I was like, "Yeah, I'll take." I thought it was a joke. I thought it was because the class said like American cinema zombies. I thought it was just like I thought it was made like an A to Z type of thing, or like, oh, we're gonna be like dead watching film. I don't know I thought it was just like a joke. But I get to the class and it's like we are watching all these zombie films for the next like 6 weeks. I was like, what the hell is this? But it was good. It was actually like, and also he made it a point to like compare the zombies in some of these movies to like what was Zack Snyder's zombie movie. I forget the name of it that I watched, but
Oh, Army of the Dead. So good.
yeah, he was like, these represent the like brain dead consumers of like the 21st century, like kind of like a Fight Club type of thing, where the guy in Fight Club is kind of like he was very materialistic and stuff like that, and he kind of like went away with that. He's like, this is of that guy from Fight Club, like never evolved and like gave into his madness. He just becomes like a zombie. And like the Army of the Dead type of guys, and they're just like, look at all these like faceless creatures. There's a Walmart scene in that movie. There's like a Target scene in that movie. There's all these like big mega corporations in those movies that the zombies like take over in a sense, and it's like they're just like consumed by like the material thing.
That's
And
cool.
I was like, oh, base professor, let's go. Like, I was like, there we go, man. Like,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like, these zombies represent like people who are like too into like their material like possessions. And I was like, okay, I could roll with this class for a bit.
Do you think if your professor never told you that, you would have like realized that from just watching the movie?
No, I was just down to watch a cool ass zombie movie with some, you know. Listen, sometimes like a lot of people think I'm like some weird like film bro dude because I like to act and stuff. I am a-okay watching like a 1.5 hour bomb fest CGI green screen. Like I love the Fast and the Furious movies, unironically. I think those are great. I love like Paul Walker's death, man. That hit for me. Like that was a hard day in Vindradom, and like there's a lot of like really good movies out there that are not gonna win any Oscars. You know, I love Pitch Perfect. I unironically love those
Thing
movies.
to say, dude. It's such a you thing to say.
Oh.
You're writing that down. You're catching flack in the chat for this.
Yeah, he better.
I had on my first day.
Didn't you like crush really hard on Anna Kendrick? Was that you?
Haley Steinfeld and Anna Kendrick, I like a lot. Yeah,
Okay.
and they're both in those movies. And that's what started it beforehand. It is who is your favorite niche NBA role player from like the early 2010s era?
Great
It's a
question.
really quick question that you can just answer real quick, and I just want to like
Might have to be Gerald Green.
that is such a good answer. That's a
Yeah.
great answer.
That dude could like jump out of the gym and just like bring yam time to every day. You know what I mean? Like he was a lot of fun to watch. And this might be like pretty exposing, but like I only found out about him through like Chris Smooth's like my team videos.
Yes, I love
Because like he'd just be be sending all these lobs to Gerald Green, and Gerald Green would just be like yamming all these things in. And so like when I finally like I don't know, I like found out about him from his YouTube channel, and then I'd be watching the NBA and I'd see Gerald Green just like baptize someone in a flaming dunk.
hit
It
him
would
with
just
the
be like, oh, that's him. It's like, so Joe agrees, my guy.
Dude,
Mine is Nick Collison for obvious reasons.
Nick Collison.
Yeah. Niche. He's a
Interesting.
Thunder legend. Let me rep my OKC Thunder. He's the first guy to have a Thunder jersey retired. Number 4.
Is he really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the Thunder have no jersey retired actually, except for Nick Collison's.
I mean,
I'm sure Russ will get
they
that.
should
treatment.
definitely retire Russ.
Maybe KD. I don't know. I don't think so.
That one's
Maybe
tough.
like-
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah,
think they
I'll
would.
leave it, but like for sure Russ. But like Nick Collison was just like, he's the classic white guy in the NBA trope, except he made it an actual career. Like he's a gritty guy, hustled, first guy in the gym, last guy out. But like
Yeah.
he didn't play that much. He didn't play that much. But when he played, man, he gave 120% every possession, and he did not need the ball in his hands to be a good basketball player. He would set screens that were hard. He would make the extra pass without getting credit for the assist, man. He would rebound. He would box out another guy so that another dude can grab that rebound. He would communicate really well on defense, stuff that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. And when I was first playing basketball, I was 10, 11 years old. I was incredibly overweight. I was like, I did not know how to hold a ball in my hands without like falling. I could not catch it. I could not like coordinate my body to dribble it or to shoot it. But damn it, the Nick Collison highlight reel made me think I was like an NBA Hall of Famer. I was like, listen, I don't need the ball. I'll just like body somebody or make the extra pass. I can do that. I can get out of the way. I'm a-okay standing in the corner and waiting for my time to shine. But yeah, so like I also grew up along with a lot of those. I grew up in Lutz, Florida, Carrollwood, Florida area. So a lot of old guys there. So all my coaches were like old white guys who preached like fundamentals and stuff like that. And it wasn't until I got into high school where I started really saucing. So I had like my foundation was in fundamental basketball. So Nick Collison was the guy for me.
Nick Collison was taught you how to get saucy. That's so
Nick
interesting.
Nick Collison didn't teach me to get saucy. Nick Collison got me playing time.
Oh, and the fundamentals.
Yeah, Nick
Okay.
Collison got me on the court because
Sure.
coaches are like, we need this guy, we need Vinger on the court because he'll hustle, and he doesn't need the ball in his hands. Then I got on the court, and they couldn't get the ball out of my hands, and that was a whole other.
I was gonna say, like, you should end this video with like fuck it, Nick Collison highlights.
You know what? That's not off the table.
Please do it. Just like show like a montage of like him just dunking on dudes, but like the John Cena
He doesn't have
soundtrack.
those highlights, man. I looked.
He doesn't.
He has like one dunk in his career.
Okay,
Like,
then
on somebody. It's a
just like
putback
just
dunk.
replay that stuff, dude.
It's a putback dunk against Chris Bosh in the finals.
Oh, really? Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I think unless there's any more questions to go around, I think this is a good episode that I can chop up. David's did not. Oh, I'm gonna stop recording for a second. Well, wait, before I start, segue. Ivan Yorobi is a music missionary over at the University of St. Thomas in Minnesota, and he's once again, most importantly, a very dear friend to me and John Michael. Who it's always a pleasure to talk to this guy, and there's always something I can learn from him. He's been a great role model to me. He's been someone I can look up to, who I've seen a lot of myself in, and I hope to emulate more of as I continue growing and stuff like that. He's done a lot for me in my faith journey and such. The hooping is one part of it, the guitar playing is another thing, but as a man, as a brother, he's just someone I can look up to, and I just want to make proud. So I appreciate him for coming on the podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed his time. I want to thank you for your time for coming on, and yeah, I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was a blast. Deuces.
I'm gonna stop recording.